You'll never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
USA News, I'm Dave Collins. Gaza is getting pummeled by airstrikes as Israel prepares for a possible ground assault. The Israel Defense Forces say it's mobilized about 300,000 reservists near the Gaza border and are continuing large-scale strikes on Hamas's targets. At least 27 Americans have been killed, and the total death toll in the conflict is now over 2,700. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby.
We're obviously doing everything we can to support and inform the families. Now, sadly, 5 more families have now gotten the worst possible news that any family can conceive of getting.
The Biden administration is arranging charter flights to help Americans leave Israel as the country is at war with Hamas. Kirby telling reporters the administration is working to provide flights from Israel to sites in Europe for U.S. citizens and their immediate family members. The administration is also looking at helping Americans exit by land and sea. Additional charges have been filed in the bribery case against New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez. A superseding indictment filed today alleges that Menendez acted as a foreign agent and disclosed sensitive U.S. government information. Last month, Menendez and his wife were indicted on numerous counts related to the bribery charges involving a New Jersey businessman with significant connections to the Egyptian government. The cost of living increase for individuals receiving Social Security benefits will be smaller compared to the past 2 years. The Social Security Administration announced today that the annual adjustment for the upcoming year will be 3.2%. This adjustment translates to an average monthly payment of a little over $1,900 for retirees starting in January. That's the very latest. I'm Dave Collins. This is USA News.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia.
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise's journey to the Speaker's position may prove to be even tougher than his predecessors. In a closed-door vote yesterday, GOP lawmakers chose the Louisiana congressman. A contingent of conservative lawmakers has indicated they do not intend to support Scalise in his quest to secure 217 votes. New York Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman declined to criticize fellow Democrat Rashid Tlaib after the latter refused to answer a question about the terrorist attacks perpetrated by Hamas in Israel last weekend.
Everyone comes to Congress with their own lived experiences. Rashida Tlaib is Palestinian American, so she has family in the Palestinian territories and has a particular view.
An audio provided by Fox News. More than 1,200 people were killed and more than 100 were abducted. The latest report from the Labor Department reveals a 0.4% rise in the Consumer Price Index for September. In comparison to the same period last year, there has been a 3.7% surge. New York Congressman George Santos facing possible removal from office. Long Island Representative Anthony D. Esposito is introducing an expulsion resolution to, in his words, rid the people's house of fraudster George Santos. Santos was just hit with federal charges accusing him of stealing identities and using his donor credit cards without their approval. Dave Collins, USA News.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
diesel particulate filter regeneration.
The DPF catches particulates left over from combustion. The DPF regeneration cycle cleans the filter with temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A computer sensor triggers the DPF regen, which is often accompanied by a loss of power and fuel economy. The frequency of DPF regens are in correlation to the cleanliness of the fuel burn. Under heavy operation with the dirty burn, DPF regens can occur multiple times per day. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme Fuel Additive promotes a more complete combustion, creating fewer emissions and therefore fewer DPF regens. Vehicles using Diesel Extreme experience 83% less DPF regens.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, Fine Farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Well, that midnight hour is upon us, and we've really got a long, long way to go. How will we stay awake? Thanks to Chris, for goodness sake. We got Steve Summers on the radio. We got that Hot Shot Secret and the diesel. You know it really makes this Detroit come to life. We're going to hear from all our friends. We're going to do it all again on this overnight drive. Well, we all tune in to catch the weather, and whether rain or sleet or even snow, it don't matter if we're in New York or Dallas, we'll catch it all on that Steve Summers Show. We got that Hot Shot Secret and the diesel. You know it really makes that Detroit come to life. We're going to hear from all our friends. We're going to do it all again on this overnight drive. We got that hot shot secret in the diesel. You know it really makes that Detroit come to life. We're gonna hear from all our friends. We're gonna do it all again on this overnight drive. Let's start this overnight drive.
All righty then, cue the microphone. Let's get ready to roll. What do you say, roll into a Friday? So welcome aboard. Thank you so much. Good to have you with us. Everybody gather around. The big Friday morning edition, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive live from the Hot Shot Secret Gold Eagle Studios. Clear skies outside the secret bunker tonight. Hanging in there, 59 degrees. Not a bad night. I'll take it. Because we know changes are on the horizon. Hey, for the first time in quite a while, I can break down for the traveling public, those moving the freight around the country. Some of you are going to be contending with your first real nasty winter driving conditions. The higher elevations take you over to Wyoming, and in particular, southeastern Wyoming. Some of the higher elevations, like the cities of Arlington, Elk Mountain, Buford, Pumpkin Vine. You got winter storm warnings. It's snowing. Heavy snow, blowing snow. 6 to 8 inches, winds up to 45 miles per hour. This is going to impact portions of Interstate 80 near Arlington and Elk Mountain. So dangerous travel conditions, slick, snow-covered roadways. Next advisory from the Weather Service in Cheyenne for Garrett, Wyoming. Heavy mountain snow. We're talking 12 to 18 inches. Locally higher amounts possible. Winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. Dangerous mountain travel conditions. Outdoor recreation could become life-threatening if you're caught unprepared. Hikers, campers, hunters will encounter poor visibility, could become disoriented or lost. Yep, it's that time of year once again. Here's one other, let me see here, for the Sierra Madre Range and the Snowy Range. Also talking 12 to 18 inches, so locally higher amounts possible. Winds gusting to 50 miles per hour. So no doubt, first time in a long time, you're going to be, in some cases, probably having to chain up for some of those passes and whatnot out west. Meanwhile, it's a big storm system. We're dealing with lots of wind. The wiggle wagons are going to be wiggling big time. Eastern Colorado, much of western Kansas, about the western two-thirds of Nebraska, all under high wind warnings as we head toward the weekend. So very active in the central and western USA. This is where we'll begin with our travelers' weather. A potent storm tracking across the Rockies brings a big-time drop in temperatures in its wake. And yes, accumulating snow. The wintry weather behind the storm will be impacting the region on through the overnight hours tonight. Slippery conditions, reduced visibility, ice on roads and sidewalks. Same storm brings a major cool down to the west coast. That's already occurred this week, as this storm treks across the rest of the country on into the weekend, bringing with it a range of impacts, rain, yes, even some snow to the higher elevations in the Rockies. It's going to be weather whiplash across the Rockies, dramatic temperature plunges in the wake of this late week storm. Temperatures across Colorado and Wyoming have actually been running above average so far in the month of October. Yeah, Denver was actually at 80 degrees on Tuesday, like 12 degrees above where you would normally be. Well, as we head into Friday, the cooler air combined with the clouds and the precipitation, highs are only going to be, in some locations, in the 30s. Lower elevations, maybe some 40s, 50s. Overnight lows are going to be dipping into the 20s and 30s into this weekend. If you've got outdoor plans through Friday, be prepared for chilly conditions. You're going to have to bundle up. And, of course, as the cold air advances, rain will transition to snow across the higher elevations of the Rockies. For some, this will be the first measurable snow since this past April. Casper, Wyoming, on the edge of the Rockies in the high plains. Last time you saw snow was back on April the 15th, when just a little over an inch of snow fell as we were kind of winding down the winter, headed into spring. So travel disruptions across regions. Motorists urged to be cautious for the changing road conditions, obviously, especially through those mountain passes. Driving through the passes in Colorado through Thursday night. Leave extra travel time. Snowy, slippery roadways, reduced visibility. Localized amounts 6 inches or more in some of those higher elevations. Now, outside the higher terrain, most of the accumulating will be on the non-paved surfaces. As the storm continues trekking across the country, we're going to talk a lot of rain and cooler air spreading into the plains and eventually the Northeast as we head into the weekend. So again, right now I'm looking at those wind advisories. Aside from the snow falling southeast Wyoming, northeastern portions of Colorado, all the snow's north of the Denver metro. But you've got a lot of rain and those winds to contend with. Plenty of rain through South Dakota, central and western Nebraska. We've got the eastern flank of the storm with some heavy showers and even some thunderstorms pushing through western portions of Iowa tonight. You're in the rain from pretty much the westernmost reaches of lower Michigan back through central Minnesota or central Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, and especially eastern portions of South Dakota. Heavy-duty rains fall in there. Elsewhere around the country, eastern USA is relatively quiet. Still some showers there in central Florida tonight after what was a very rambunctious night. Heavy thunderstorms and tornadoes raking the Sunshine State in the early hours of Thursday morning. All right, so we roll into Friday the 13th. We'll try to bring you up to speed, all the latest what's going on, concerns, terror threats. Law enforcement agencies, especially the big cities around the country, are indeed saying they are on full alert. In New York City, all law enforcement have been instructed be in uniform today. We'll break it down for you coming up here. Meanwhile, oh boy, the stage is set. Major League Baseball, we are down to 4. Of course, going into this past evening, we knew the Diamondbacks were in. They had swept the Dodgers. We knew the Rangers were in after sweeping the Orioles. It came down to, all right, those Phillies and Braves. Phillies, they really shut down the Braves. Braves normally able to put quite a bit of runs on them. They've struggled with the bats. And Phillies move on. 10-2 was the final score. And we're looking at as far as Houston, Astros over the Twins. That final score was 3-1. Phillies and the Braves. All right, the 10-2, that was the Wednesday night game. It was 3-1. The final game this past evening. So Philly moves on down to the final 4 here, 2 of which will be playing in the World Series. Hello to Philly Dan. Well, there you go. How about your Phillies? TGIF. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Copy in the mail, 5-7. There's the Dipsy Driver. Morning, Steve, and the most informed ladies and gentlemen of the Steve Summers Overnight Drive. Hanging in at 50 degrees, got some light rain at this hour, Stockbridge, mid-Michigan. Well, I decided to start a business weighing small objects. not need many employees because it's a small-scale operation. Please stay safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings, drivers. But have a great weekend, and yes, stay safe. Hello to the milkman. Copy in the mail. Good to have you on board. Bidu checking in. Good morning to the overnight crew. Hey, there's the Michigan Madman. Morning, Steve. All the listeners out there. Hello to Hillbilly, setting up here in northern Indiana. Wait until morning to deliver in Chicago. Then it's back to Columbus to load up for Monday morning. I've got some friends who were off work because of the Ford strike there in Louisville. They haul axles from Dana in Dry Ridge, Kentucky, to Jeffersonville, Indiana. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I guess all we can do is just sit and wait for now. All right, well, have a great show, Steve, and an even better weekend. Everybody be safe. Hello, Timothy. A nice 52 degrees here again in Rocky Mount, Virginia, as we roll into Friday. Russell, hello, 57 in Dayton, Ohio. Hope you're doing well today at the Secret Bunker. Prayers for all the truck drivers to safely reach your destinations. Yeah, remember, everybody, they've declared jihad for today all over the world. Watch your surroundings. Everybody, have a great weekend. Larry, okay, I guess we can get a confirmation there. It is snowing big time in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I-80 is closed in both directions between Laramie and Rawlins, Wyoming. Probably not going to reopen things till daylight. All right, I suspected we could see some. First time we're dealing with wintertime major interstate closures. So thank you very much for the confirmation, Larry. Be careful. Hunker down. Hello, Steve. Morning, Steve. All the listeners, the truckers out there that keep things moving on our highways. You guys are the best. Let's see. Steve here. Good morning. Clear skies. The fan running on the AC. 52 degrees. Hello, Kentucky Ken. Good morning to the overnight crew. And, of course, Steve Summers. Rolling USA bound within the hour, hopefully. Anyway, happy Friday and happy birthday. Early happy birthday, Steve. Kentucky Ken is listening in. John Ferguson, since the GM parts train got derailed for reefer work, I need a new train name. All right. Well, howdy, Steve, and the rest of everyone out there not driving at night too much these days, but just stopping in to say prayers for Israel. And it's time we get right or get off or get left. Okay, right or get left. Good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. Hello, Brain Dead. Morning. Happy Friday, where it's actually his Monday. Oh, boy. Back to the old grind. There you go. And one more. Miss Millie. Good morning to all the listeners. Gabby and I wishing you a very happy, blessed birthday. Well, thank you. 56 degrees in my area of the Bluegrass State. Everybody stay safe and blessed. And everybody have a great weekend. Protect yourself if you need to. Prayers for America and Israel. It is 844-844-3388. We delve into what's going on just ahead. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
At Hotshot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
Turbocharger spool time.
Turbochargers are designed to increase the efficiency and power of the diesel engine by forcing compressed air into the combustion chamber. Temperatures inside the turbo can reach upwards of 400 degrees. The oil meant to lubricate the bearings will burn, leaving behind a sticky residue called stiction. The turbo's ability to spool up quickly is hindered because the stiction-covered bearings can't spin properly. Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator cleans the stiction from turbo bearings, reducing spool time and builds maximum boost sooner in the RPM range. Stiction Eliminator is a synthetic cleaner plus nano-lubricant that contains no harmful solvents and is formulated to be left in the engine to safely dissolve stiction for thousands of miles. It works as you drive.
Hotshot Secret Stiction Eliminator. Available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hotshot Secret. Powered by science.
Jeans aren't one size fits all. Your seat shouldn't be either. That's the idea behind Bostrom's Wide Ride. It's the future of seating comfort. The Wide Ride features a 23-inch wide seat cushion and backrest, flex mat cushion support system, full lever recline, and front and rear cushion tilt on Bostrom's premium suspension system, allowing you to find your perfect fit. Optional features include a seat heater and a new innovative smart seat memory. With the flip of a switch, your seat can be a help and not a hindrance, allowing you to get in and out of your cab with ease. The premium foam is what makes the Wide Ride seat the perfect fit. It's designed to work for drivers of all shapes and sizes, and each seat is custom built right here in the USA. It's the smart seat choice. Go to BostromSeating.com now and find ultimate comfort for the open road with the Wide Ride from Bostrom.
And now, back to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
All righty, good morning. Roy checking in, looking for some rain developing overnight, then heavy rain by morning. And we could be watching for some strong afternoon storms. Yeah, the Quad City area, Iowa, northern Illinois there. Yes, indeed. All right, John, see, Catwoman, there she is. I knew she had chimed in somewhere. Hello from Catwoman and Road Dog. It's been a while since we've heard from you there. I hope you're doing well. Everybody, have a great night and stay safe out there. All right, let's get the UAW update. The United Auto Workers, of course, we touched on this last evening because that was kind of the breaking story. The snap strike late Wednesday evening at Ford's largest, most profitable factory is undoubtedly raising pressure on the likes of Stellantis and General Motors as negotiations resumed on Thursday. UAW negotiations turning their attention this past day with Chrysler's parent Stellantis, according to President Shawn Fain. He said, quote, "Here's to hoping talks with Stellantis today are more productive than Ford yesterday." No immediate comment from Stellantis. The Kentucky walkout is pretty much a warning to Stellantis and General Motors, whose wage and benefit offers fall short of Ford's based on summaries the automakers and UAW released. Yeah, some analysts say the decision to shut down Ford's Kentucky truck plant, where they build the Super Duty pickups, the Lincoln Navigator SUVs, may be a sign that the end game could be starting in the nearly month-long round of coordinated walkouts. Pressure was always needed to force a deal. Evercore ISI analyst said Ford shares were down 2.2% in pre-market trade. GM shares were marginally lower. Of course, now going back to last Friday, Fain said if needed, the UAW would strike the GM assembly plant in Arlington, Texas, that builds Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Suburban, and other large, high-priced SUVs. GM's Flint heavy-duty truck assembly plant, another potential strike target. So here we go, the update. Fain has scheduled a video address for later this Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. In past weeks, he has used that Friday address to order additional walkouts or announce progress in bargaining. Now, high-profit targets at Stellantis include the automaker's Ram pickup truck factories, Sterling Heights and Warren, Michigan, as well as the two Jeep SUV factories in Detroit. This pretty much puts everyone on notice, according to the Vice President of Global Vehicle Forecasting at Auto Forecast Solutions. If they haven't brought anything new to the table since last week, General Motors and Stellantis should be worried. Analysts at Wells Fargo estimated that Ford would lose about $150 million per week in core profit from just the Kentucky plant strike. This escalation is a sign that UAW could be close to a contract proposal with Ford in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Now, I don't know about that. Automakers have more than doubled some of their initial wage hike offers, agreed to raise wages along with inflation and improved pay for temporary workers. But the union wants higher wages still. The abolishment of the two-tier wage system, the expansion of unions for battery plants. All right, even with 8,700 workers at Ford's Kentucky plant now on strike, still less than a quarter of the 150,000 UAW workers at the Big Three are technically on strike. Thousands of others, though, have been furloughed from jobs at operations that are not on strike, obviously because the walkouts are making their work unnecessary. All right, Ford did have a response this past day. I will tell you what they had to say coming up. First, a news break. The Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
USA News Update. Gaza is getting pummeled by airstrikes as Israel prepares for a possible ground assault. The Israel Defense Forces say it's mobilized about 300,000 reservists near the Gaza border and are continuing large-scale strikes on Hamas's targets. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby.
We're obviously doing everything we can to support and inform the families. Now, sadly, 5 more families have now gotten the worst possible news that any family can conceive of getting.
Steve Scalise is withdrawing from the race to become the next Speaker of the House. He announced at a conference meeting Thursday night that he'd be pulling out of the race following a day full of meetings with fellow Republicans. It appeared unlikely he would get the 217 members of his own party to vote for him on the floor, as a small number of conservatives appeared to block his path. Dave Collins, USA News.
Attention small business owners. This could be the most important 10-minute call you will ever make. You could recover up to $26,000 per employee today. And all you have to do is make one short 10-minute call to take your business up a notch or bounce back from these difficult couple of years. Omega Accounting Solutions can help you recover any payroll tax overpayments you made during the pandemic. You may even be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. All it takes is a quick, easy, free 10-minute ERC consultation to determine if you qualify. Omega is the small business champion with teams dedicated to maximizing tax credits. They know their stuff so well that CPAs and payroll companies even turn to Omega for ERC tax guidance. Call 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC. 1-800-300-9ERC. Or visit OmegaTaxCredit.com.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
product claims without proof.
Every trucker on the road has heard product claims about an additive that simply didn't match their experience. Proof is found from third-party testing by a recognized, credible source. That's proof. Hot Shot Secret's Stiction Eliminator will improve your performance and fuel economy. For proof, we engaged the Ohio State University Center of Automotive Research to conduct an EPA-certified fuel economy test with Stiction Eliminator on a FedEx truck, a 2006 P500 Freightliner with 247,000 miles. The test showed a 3.6% increase in highway driving fuel economy from Stiction Eliminator, an oil additive. The complete report from OSU is available for download at HotShotSecret.com. That's proof.
Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator, available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
For anything diesel, take it to Shy Diesel. They provide a wide variety of services and diagnostics to determine what the problem is with the latest technology. From simple oil changes and preventative maintenance to fuel system diagnostics and repairs, engine rebuilds and cylinder head repairs, and rebuilds with our in-house machine shop. They also have on-site DPF cleaning for exhaust issues and DOT inspections. If your diesel is asking for some attention, Shine Diesel has the specialist you need for anything diesel. Located in Terre Haute and Lafayette, Indiana, and Effingham, Illinois, Shine Diesel has you covered.
Hey, don't forget, as a listener to this program, you get 10% off your entire order at HotShotSecret.com by using the coupon code Overnight Drive.
Attention all truckers, Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I want to talk to you about those dreaded tax problems. I know you want to keep on trucking and not even think about them. Well, let's face it, they're not going away all on their own. You need professional help. I've been helping truckers put their tax problems in the rearview mirror for years. I can help you too. Call me for a free consultation at 888-632-4506 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. It's like I always say, keep your eyes on the road, I'll keep mine on the IRS. 888-632-4506.
How do you sleep on the road? After downtime, do you wake up well-rested and invigorated or tired, achy, and sore? Well, if it's the latter, you're not sleeping on the Big Rig Mattress. The Big Rig Mattress is a hybrid with an individually pocketed spring core that's engineered to deliver the best restorative sleep for your time on the road. Many drivers have said they sleep better over the road on the Big Rig Mattress than they do at home. Learn more about the Big Rig Mattress at thebigrigmattress.com or call 877-736-4233. Most standard sizes ship within 72 business hours. The Big Rig Mattress, 100% made in the USA since 2009.
Because Channel 19's a little congested. Call Steve now at 844-844-3388. The Overnight Drive.
Yes, indeed. Phone lines open here on a Friday morning. All right, we get set for the weekend and picking up where we left off there. Ford is now warning workers at a dozen other factories that could very well be sent home because of the walkout at the truck plant on Wednesday. The Kentucky truck plant is the company's most profitable operation. Generates $25 billion in annual sales, about a sixth of Ford's global automotive revenue. There are very expensive products here that are extremely profitable, according to Fiorini. With the Super Duty in this plant, this is Ford's largest plant. I mean, they were on target to build 400,000 vehicles this year. Now, we know this unfolded on Wednesday. Fain and other UAW officials called a meeting with Ford like 5:30 Wednesday afternoon, demanding a new offer, which Ford did not have, to which Fain said, well, you just lost your Kentucky plant. Boom. And an hour later, like 6:30, workers were walking off the line, apparently. All right, Ford said the decision was grossly irresponsible but not surprising, given the leadership strategy, the stated strategy of keeping the Detroit Three wounded for months through reputational damage and industrial chaos. Now, Ford had more to say this past day. Take you to the latest. Executives, Ford said on Thursday, they are not prepared to offer more economic value to the UAW contract talks. I mean, here we are now, about 4 weeks into the strike. And with Wednesday's shutdown at the Ford Kentucky plant, that facility actually reaps more revenue than Southwest Airlines. On the economics, I would say, and I'm quoting here, we have reached our limit. That's the quote from the president of the Ford Blue Division this past afternoon in the conference call. We've actually stretched ourselves to get to this point. Executives said they were shocked when the UAW Wednesday walked out of the talks on pension issues and collective bargaining rights, talking about the battery plants. The Kentucky plant, we're talking more than 8,700 UAW workers, and more than 600 suppliers provide parts to the factory. With the plant's shutdown, this fragile supply chain is going to be nudged further toward collapse, according to Ford's chief supply chain officer yesterday. Now, the Blue Division said Ford is open to maybe moving some money around within the deal that might fit the union needs better. But broadly speaking, from an overall cost of the deal perspective, we're there. We've offered pay increases of more than 20% to permanent workers, raises of 26% for temporary workers, the return of cost of living adjustments, a ratification bonus, increased 401k contributions, additional paid time off, and no job loss due to the electric vehicle battery plant. So we've offered all this. At this point, all they say is the UAW had no immediate comment yesterday, but Sean Fain apparently has repeatedly called on the automakers to deliver record contracts after earning record profits. We've been crystal clear, and we've waited long enough. Ford hasn't got the message. It's time for a fair contract at Ford and the rest of the big three. If they can't understand that after 4 weeks, the 8,700 workers shutting down this extremely profitable plant may help them understand, which kind of tends to have me leaning towards this 10 a.m. conference this Friday morning may really bump up the pressure on General Motors and Stellantis. We shall see. But all right, meanwhile, everybody kind of talking about the Global Day of Anger. This is what I can tell you at this point. The New York City police, along with a number of city and state officials around the country, there's no credible threats, they say, amid the calls for a pro-Hamas Global Day of Anger today. But they are proceeding with a heightened posture, the highest level of security we've seen in some time. NBC News reported this past evening, NYPD has ordered the entire force to be in uniform today, while providing additional security to any sort of gatherings and other would-be targets. There are no specific credible threats to New York City. We're aware of the concern that postings circulating online, and we've increased our uniformed departments at large gatherings and cultural sites to ensure public safety. Of course, this is all out of an abundance of caution. Agencies in Washington, D.C., as well as Los Angeles, taking similar precautions. One senior law enforcement official says we are at a heightened posture. We're talking to our counterparts across the country. Now, this is the highest level of security a lot of cities have had in some time. Yeah, we all know this kind of stems from the former Hamas leader, who had earlier this week posted the video calling for a global day of anger in support of the terrorists who laid siege to Israel last weekend. Now, I do have a bit more kind of interesting, obviously, when you see these reports that FBI officials have been making visits to even some residents and mosques in various locations around the country. Now, New York City officials said they are bracing for at least one major demonstration that is planned for Times Square today. Elsewhere, the LAPD issued a statement saying their officers would assume a higher profile around Jewish and Muslim communities during this unimaginable time. Now, there's at least one Arab American advocacy group that pointed to more hostile posture taken by law enforcement toward the Muslim groups versus the Jewish groups. The Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee this past day said FBI agents had paid visit to a number of mosques in different states and even individual U.S. residents with Palestinian roots. They're saying this is a troubling trend. We've received multiple calls regarding Palestinian nationals detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and or being visited by the FBI. Rabbi Yanni Fain, who heads a large Jewish day school in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, said, yes, higher alerts of operations are definitely in place in anticipation of global protests for Friday. Now, he did say their school was looking to reassure students they're safe to go about their lives, rather than to give in to the heightened anxiety that's gripping Jewish communities. He said the Academy's message to the students and their families is to reassure them that their homes are safe, their schools are safe, and their trusted adults will be keeping them safe. But all right, further, they said, New York's governor said there's no reason to feel afraid. No one should feel they have to alter their normal lives. It's very easy from far away to instill fear. We're not going to fall for that as a city. That's the words from New York's Deputy Police Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism. New York City Mayor said his office has directed city police to surge additional resources to schools and houses of worship to ensure they're safe. He said extra patrols are being deployed in Jewish and Muslim communities alike. All right. Friday the 13th. That's where we are. All right, it's 844-844-3388. I see Double R chimed in there, and he's on board. What do you say, Double R?
How you doing, Steve?
Doing well. Thank you, sir.
Down here in Chattanooga. They done got to deliver in the morning, and Mama said, well, how come you didn't call me? Didn't want to bother you.
Right.
So... But no, I just called in to tell everybody to watch your butts today with G-Hob. I know you were talking about it, but just calling in to tell everybody to try to avoid crowds and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, watch your six. And people are crazy. Harvard University is real bad about it. I mean, they're protesting like you wouldn't believe. Mm-hmm. And I guess these businesses are wanting the names of the people that are protesting because they said they don't need to have, they won't get a job.
They don't want to hire them. Yeah.
No. You want to show your butt? That's fine. But you're not going to work for, we're not going to work for us. And I think that's fair, But anyhow, I just wanted to call in and tell everybody to be careful today, especially today, with the day going on like it's supposed to.
Yeah,
so
see what unfolds. Well, give us an update. I mean, last time you chimed in, Anita had been in the hospital. She make it back to the home 20. How's things going?
Yeah, we got her home, and she is on the road of recovery. I'll be going home tomorrow, so I'll be there to help her out. But yeah, she's doing a heck of a lot better, thank God.
All right.
Yeah, I was really worried about her breathing more than anything, her oxygen level, but it's all falling together there. So that's, back to normal.
So I guess, she had the pneumonia thing, so I guess they had her on the super antibiotics trying to kick the pneumonia so the lungs are clearing out.
Oh, yeah, they had her on some strong crap. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why they put you on it in the hospital, but when you leave the hospital, they don't, they didn't give her nothing when she left the hospital. Really? Nothing.
Wow.
And here she is on a road trip going back home, and she didn't have nothing. I said, that's unusual. That's weird. Why did they do that? But anyhow, she had to get a hold of our doctor down here, and they got her in and give her some medicine. So, like I said, she's on the road to recovery, and I want to thank everybody for the prayers and thoughts. She's doing well. So, anyhow. But I just want to call in and say hello to you, my friend, and let you know I ain't too far from Flintstone.
All right. Oh, well, good to hear from you, Double R. Thanks for checking in. Safe travels here. And, yeah, well, like you say, watch your six. Be aware of your surroundings today.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody. Yes, sir. So you be good, Jim. Or Steve. Jim.
Thanks, Double R. Have a good morning. Hi, I'm Jim. Hello to Benny, or a.k.a. the Tanker Yanker. Checking in, loading in McPherson, Kansas. We're hanging at 58 degrees, but, windy conditions. Those winds are going to be kicking up. I'll have to give you the latest on that coming up here. Hello, Robert Duck. Good morning from US 30 Fort Wayne, headed to Mishawaka. And there's Jeff from New York City, ready for another amazing show. And another big story, and I didn't see this coming. I don't know where they're going to go from here. We do not have a Speaker of the House. And it came down officially about 8:30 this past evening. Steve Scalise had spent the day trying to drum up the needed 217 votes. Yeah, we knew as of last night, Jim Jordan said he was going to actually put his support behind Scalise, trying to garner those votes. Could not get them. And Scalise has withdrawn his bid to become House Speaker. He told his Republican colleagues at a closed-door meeting late Thursday. Now what? The next step, very uncertain, as the House is essentially closed while Republicans try to elect a Speaker after ousting McCarthy. Now, as he emerged from that closed-door meeting, Scalise said, quote, "I just shared with my colleagues that I am withdrawing my name as a candidate for Speaker designee." He said the Republican majority still has to come together, and it's not there. Been working furiously to secure the votes after being nominated by a majority of his colleagues, but after hours of private meetings over 2 days and late into the evening at the Capitol, it was clear that they were not budging from their refusal to support him. There are still some people that have their own agendas, he said, and I was very clear. We have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what the country needs, but frustrations mounting as this crisis deepens and Republicans lose another day without a speaker. Scalise was trying to peel off more than 100 votes, mostly from those who had backed Jim Jordan. The favor of the hardliners. Now, he had announced he was no longer in the running and tossed his vote to Scalise. But apparently many of the hardliners, taking their cues from former President Trump, have dug in for a prolonged fight to replace McCarthy, saying that Scalise is no better choice than McCarthy, that he needs to be focused on his health as he battles cancer, that he's not the leader that they would support. There was no vote this past day. Now, after the earlier closed-door meeting, he said, we're going to get this done. Scalise did. He took every question thrown his way and pledged during the 2-hour session to work through the issues raised. But there's no easy endgame in sight. But time is really of the essence. The House now enters its second week without a speaker, and for the most part is unable to function, and the political pressure increasingly is on Republicans to get this done, to govern in Congress. All right, we'll break down a bit more coming up. Lines available at 844-844-3388. Looks like Pappy jumped on board. 55 here. It's double nickel degrees on the far side of southwest Hamilton County. Duty calls. Busy night. Gotta go. And hello, Steve, and the Stevettes. Godspeed to you and your followers. God bless the United States of America and the nation of Israel. Good morning to John.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
Diesel fuel cetane levels.
in many states, the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts. Due to a cleaner burn, there are less hydrocarbons and particulate matter in your exhaust. This reduces the blockage of your diesel particulate filter. Using Diesel Extreme generates 83% less DPF regeneration. The 6-in-1 Diesel Extreme formula also includes the most concentrated detergent on the market, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Jeans aren't one size fits all. Your seats shouldn't be either. That's the idea behind Bostrom's Wide Ride. It's the future of seating comfort. The Wide Ride features a 23-inch wide seat cushion and backrest, flex mat cushion support system, full lever recline, and front and rear cushion tilt on Bostrom's premium suspension system, allowing you to find your perfect fit. Optional features include a seat heater and a new innovative smart seat memory. With the flip of a switch, your seat can be a help and not a hindrance, allowing you to get in and out of your cab with ease. The premium foam is what makes the Wide Ride seat the perfect fit. It's designed to work for drivers of all shapes and sizes, and each seat is custom built right here in the USA. It's the smart seat choice. Go to BostromSeating.com now and find ultimate comfort for the open road with the Wide Ride from Bosch.
And now, back to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
So really, with Scalise withdrawing, everybody's kind of saying, where do we go from here? Representative Nicole Malliotakis, Republican from New York, expressing her frustration last evening with Scalise dropping out. Now, she said she was one of those that initially supported Jim Jordan, but Jordan did not get the most votes, as Scalise did. Now, if Scalise doesn't have the votes, then we need to see maybe Jordan can get the 217 necessary. I mean, we never asked that question. There were reportedly, let's see, Scalise dropped out, not being able to secure the votes needed. There were apparently 20 Republicans who would not support him. He could only survive 4 no votes from Republicans. Yeah, there's a group that doesn't want to work with the team, she said. And it's frustrating because I'm fine with any of those 3 to be speaker. Scalise, McCarthy, or Jordan. I mean, we've got a lot of real stuff in the world happening right now, so I don't know. What did I say? Troy Nels of Texas reaffirmed that he would not vote for Scalise. He's one of those. He's still trying to say he wants Trump for speaker. That's not going to happen. Yeah, Trump was actually being interviewed by Brian Kilmeade this past day. He said he spoke about Steve's health issues. He said, I like him, Steve. I like him. But the problem, is that the man is in serious trouble from the standpoint of his cancer. He's been diagnosed with a form of blood cancer known as multiple myeloma. He's being treated for that, but Trump said, I think it's going to be hard, maybe in either case, for somebody to get. You get into these crazy stalemates. It's an interesting situation. Otherwise, he pretty much said he's taken a hands-off approach to the internal fighting. Once Scalise, rather than his choice of Jordan, became the nominee. Many Republicans want to prevent the spectacle we saw earlier this year when it took, as we know, 15 votes ultimately to get McCarthy into the position. But I don't know who's just someone. Pappy kind of called it last evening. He said, "Steve, right now I wouldn't really rule anybody out because Jordan had already said I'm going to throw my support behind Scalise. Now Scalise says I'm out. Who the heck's going to step in here?" Crazy times. All right, good to have you on board. Rolling into a Friday, 5-7 coming up as we kick off hour number 2. Eagle will be checking in room for you at 844-844-3388.
It's coming. Crisp fall mornings turn bitter cold. As you fire up your diesel, you can see your breath on the inside of a cab. Imagine looking deep into your engine. Freezing temperatures impact your diesel's fluids, especially fuel. On a 23-degree morning, the paraffin wax in your untreated fuel starts to morph from fluid to large crystals. These crystals clump together and form a gel. At minus 10 degrees, your fuel hits the point where it no longer pours like a liquid. It's so dense that the flow through the fuel filter will slow, causing hard starts or no starts. Get prepared now for the cold that is coming. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Winter Anti-Gel is a premium fuel additive that lowers your fuel's pour point to minus 65 degrees. If it's that cold out, you shouldn't be on the road. You ought to be at home in front of the fireplace. Hot Shot Secret Diesel Winter Anti-Gel Premium Fuel Additive. Available now online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Whether you're a diesel pickup performance enthusiast or just looking for a small upgrade, when selecting common rail fuel system components, look no further than Exergy Performance. At Exergy, you'll find injectors, pumps, and more, engineered like no others on the market using state-of-the-art equipment run by people that have been in the business for decades. Exergy is the home of the Sportsman line of injectors. These injectors are designed for use in pickup trucks with no other modifications and offer a 15 to 20 horsepower gain while being calibrated to tighter tolerances than factory stock injectors. With a product lineup of injectors from Sportsman to 700% over, pumps from Sportsman to 14 millimeters, and complete engine control systems, Exergy has you covered. So if you're in the market for common rail components at any power level, contact Exergy Performance or one of our many dealers listed on our website at exergyperformance.com.
Live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios, the Steve Summers Overnight Drive.
USA News, I'm Dave Collins. As the conflict with the Palestinian militant group Hamas persists, Israel's government and centrist opposition have come together to form a unity government. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who arrived in Israel earlier today, commented on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on this development.
We welcome the government's creation and the unity and resolve that it reflects across Israel's society.
Hollywood Studios and the union talks break down. Lance Pry has more.
Talks between Hollywood Studios and the Actors Union are on hold after negotiations broke down yesterday. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, which represents the studios, said the two sides were still too far apart. Simply put, actors want 2% of revenue from online streaming shows. Many of the studios say that number is unrealistic. The union SAG-AFTRA also wants limits on the use of artificial intelligence.
Two protesters were arrested during former college swimmer and women's sports activist Riley Gaines' Real Women's Day event at Pennsylvania State University. The two transgender activists, a male and a female, were handcuffed and put in a police car after shouting accusations and knocking over promotional materials. In a stroke of incredible luck, someone about an hour north of Los Angeles, California, has become significantly wealthier overnight. A Powerball ticket boasting a staggering value of over $1.7 billion has emerged as the second largest lottery prize in U.S. history. The cost of living increase for individuals receiving Social Security benefits will be smaller compared to the past 2 years. The annual adjustment for the upcoming year will be 3.2%. This adjustment translates to an average monthly payment of a little over $1,900 for retirees starting in January. This is USA News.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
The latest report from the Labor Department reveals a 0.4% rise in the Consumer Price Index for September. In comparison to the same period last year, there has been a 3.7% surge. These figures slightly surpass the prediction of most analysts. New York Democratic Congressman Dan Goldman declined to criticize fellow Democrat Rashid Tlaib after the latter refused to answer a question about the terrorist attacks perpetrated by Hamas in Israel last weekend.
Everyone comes to Congress with their own lived experiences, and Rashida Tlaib is Palestinian American. So she has family in the Palestinian territories and has a particular view.
That audio courtesy of Fox News. More than 1,200 people were killed and more than 100 were abducted. Former CIA and NSA director and retired Air Force General Michael Hayden called for Republican Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville to be removed from the human race in a social media post. In response to a post on X that said, "Should Tommy Tuberville be removed from his committee? Yes or no?" Hayden responded, "How about the human race?" A recent Gallup poll indicates that almost 2/3 of Americans believe that businesses have a positive influence on their lives, while other half of the respondents expressed that business excels in most positive contributions to American lives. A significant portion also believe that there is room for further improvement. Dave Collins, USA News.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
stiction.
Found throughout the oil system, stiction is the sticky friction that negatively impacts your engine's ability to function at an optimal level. The molecular structure of oil is a hydrocarbon. The engine's extreme heat, tight tolerances, and high pressure cause the oil to break down and release hydrogen, leaving behind varnish, a carbon-based deposit. The varnish clings to the engine's moving parts, creating drag on the turbocharger, oil pump, and pistons. Symptoms of stiction include a rough idle and the loss of fuel economy and performance. Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator delivers a 98% clean rating in third-party scrub tests. Its synthetic cleaner plus nano lubricant contains no harmful solvents and is formulated to be left in the engine to safely dissolve stiction for thousands of miles. It works as you drive.
Stiction Eliminator is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
There we go. Welcome back. Hour number 2 coming on Friday. Turn the page, 13th of October. Hey, boy. Anybody superstitious out there? Any Friday the 13th. All right, big storm sweeping across the country. It's going to bring rain to at least 24 states as it moves along from the Great Plains to the Midwest to start the weekend. Then it's on to the coastal areas, the Mid-Atlantic and New England, finishing up later this weekend. Another soggy weekend in the Northeast. Some of our major metros and travel hubs, Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, going to be drenched. Further east, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York City, among the many major cities and transportation centers also in for a soaking. Not only the big cities, but also the million square miles that make up the suburban and rural areas in between. By far the largest zone of heavy rain, we're talking 1 to 4 inches, and locally higher amounts, extending from the Black Hills of South Dakota to the shores of Lake Michigan, Friday into Saturday. Motorists and airline passengers in Chicago, probably going to be in for a rough commute for your Friday evening with the drenching rain, flooding in poor drainage areas, reduced visibility. South of the storm track, especially in the Midwest, thunderstorms will rumble. Greatest chance of damaging dangerous storms will be in parts of the plains. But then in the Northeast, the zone most likely to be drenched for many hours. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware. Rain breaks out, expands slowly over the central Appalachians Saturday, then continues eastward to the upper mid-Atlantic Saturday night. Now, most areas in that region talking 1 or 2 inches of rainfall. Now, it looks like the widespread rain and clouds Saturday will, likely obscure the views of the upcoming solar eclipse for many across the Northeast and the Midwest. Some steady rain should move in at least parts of the New York City metro area during the day Saturday. Could see some localized ponding on roads and sidewalks. Heaviest downpours then move in during Saturday night. Then November-like conditions in the wake of the storm. The dynamic, potent nature of this system is going to generate gusty winds. More widespread wind on the backside of the system as it departs, though. So we're going to be talking blustery conditions over the Midwest much of this weekend, spreading to the Northeast as the storm pulls away Sunday, and winds continue into Monday. It's going to feel like temperatures in the 50s and 40s with the wind at time. Now, as the winds blow in from Lake Michigan and the chilly air arrives, Chicago going to remain wet and downright cool through the upcoming weekend. We're going to be looking to deal with temperatures that feel more like the middle of November in a lot of areas from the Midwest to the Northeast in the wake of this storm. 5-7 on a Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You top the news, Trashish Ali. I know I'm tearing up the woman's name, so we just nicknamed her Trashy. Says that, she can't, her fellow Democrat is defending her, saying, yes, she has family in Palestine, and, and so she has her own views. But she can't come out and ask Israel to show tolerance and hold back vengeance on and protect innocence of her people, or is she actually indicating that Hamas and Palestinians are one? It's amazing. I mean, any way you look at it, been saying it for a long time. Sharia law and our Constitution don't match. And it seems like that would be before you take office in this country, you would have to be asked which one is the one you're going to follow. And bottom line, where are you going to be when it does come down and hit the fan? I mean, there's going to be a lot of Palestinians hurt, and it's not Israel's fault. Does she support? Does she support the fact that her Palestinians, if she's going to equate them all together, come over and beheaded infants, burned old ladies, raped women, marched them through the street, dragged people like animals through the street? Is that you know, is that what she's for? I mean, I've been reading German stories, or listening to video on YouTube about German stories, and I've noticed a lot towards the end when the people after the war, they separated themselves from the atrocities. Well, the atrocities are here. We see them. And you mean you're not, Miss Therese or Trashy, you ain't going to pull yourself away from that? Mm-hmm. Saying, no, we don't agree with that, you know. Ironically, Megyn Kelly had a video on that actually had that leader that's in Qatar, safely in Qatar, by the way, away from being hurt, telling everybody to go get themselves killed. And he said, yeah, this has been in the planning for years, and they had fully planned this, obviously. And he says, meanwhile, while they were planning, we were pretending to govern. He said it, his words, we were pretending to govern the Palestinian people. Mm-hmm. In other words, making sure everybody got a loaf of bread, everybody got their, their trash moved. And they were pretending to govern. But they pretending. That's the word. So, Trashy, you want to explain to me, are you saying the Palestinian and Hamas are one? And do you, at least somebody asked her, I mean, do you agree on the fact that Hamas was pretending to help your people? It's amazing. All I got to say, and I hope, keep an eye on your school buses. Law enforcement, keep soft targets. You got that girl. She's going to have a concert or something like that. Now she's a soft target and showing a movie or something or other.
Yeah,
so that would be
That's the big movie debut. Actually, they started screenings on yesterday early, but today they've got $100 million in tickets sold starting today.
Okay, well, right there's a soft target. You probably in the theater, so it's no guns allowed. Come in there with a bomb on your chest, and sneak it in with the crew. And it'll be all it takes is one person, and it'll make a worldwide news with a massive slaughter in there. So you just got to keep our eyes out. And I think another thing that's coming down the pike. On reels, there were a whole bunch of reels defending Palestinians,